I'm taking over my body, back in control, no more shoddy. I bet a lot of me was lost, teasing, crossing eyes and dotted. I fought it a lot, and it seems a lot like flesh is all I got.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alan Fernandez. I am the SAB, or Student Activities Board, Concert Executive. Welcome, welcome. Here we have 21 Pilots. If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
My name is Josh,
It's Josh.
and this is also Tyler, and we're in a band.
Very nice. Awesome, awesome. And this is presented to you by the Student Activities Board and the Pulse. So let's go ahead and get started. So, first off, how did the both of you get into music?
I think the music got into me, actually.
Okay.
That's a good question. Personally, I grew up in a house where, like, as kids, we weren't allowed to listen to music, really. It was kind of just like, it was a very, very conservative, strict household, and I think that my mentality was, because I wasn't allowed, then I was going to. So I just kind of like rode my skateboard down to the music shop once a week and found the most tattooed guy that I could and asked him to just recommend me whatever he could. And then every week he'd give me something different, whether it's kind of like a hip hop or a punk rock or a rock or whatever it is album. And I just fell in love with it, with music in general, I guess, and made me want to play and made me want to kind of like be a part of something that kind of encompassed all of the things that I had listened to and into creating something that I'd never heard before. And so when I met this guy, he was kind of doing that, and I was just like, I want to do that too. And that's what happened.
Awesome. How about you, Ty? Is it okay if I call you Ty?
I guess. I mean, that happened already, so
There we go.
there's no going back.
True.
Do you have a nickname?
In high school, they called me Rhino
Rhino.
because I wrestled and I used to scream whenever I would inflict large amounts of trauma.
That's usually like what happens when large amounts of trauma is inflicted upon someone is to scream. So are rhinos known to scream? When...
I don't think so. I don't know why they did.
So if you were to injure a rhino, what would you say? What would you say the sound is that they would make?
Mwah! That's my best.
I like that. First thing that comes to mind is just a normal human getting punched in the gut. But then right after that, a quick second is a rhino getting injured as well. So that was good.
Cool.
So what was the question?
How'd you get into music?
How'd I get into music?
Yeah.
Accidentally.
Okay.
And my mom got me a little keyboard piano for Christmas because she just didn't really know what else to do that year, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really know what to do with it. And I put it in the closet for a while, and then one day, maybe years later, pulled it out and started figuring things out on it. And ever since then, I've just been figuring things out on instruments. So that's kind of the only story about how to stumble on music, I guess.
Okay.
I thought the rhino story was much more interesting, actually.
We'll get back to that after the show.
Okay, cool.
So, 21 Pilots. How'd you guys compose the name?
Compose. It's like... I was going to college, and in a theater class, we were studying a play called All My Sons by Arthur Miller. Quick rundown of that play. The main character was creating airplane parts for the current war, and he found out that those parts that he was making were faulty, and he had a decision to make. Do I send out the parts, or do I recall the parts? He had an internal battle of, what was right and wrong and what was justified because he needed to feed his family and all these other things. And ultimately he sent the parts out and made the wrong decision, and 21 pilots died because he did. The play ends pretty sad. He kind of just kills himself at the end. That's how the play finishes. But I guess how do we take that story and apply it to us as individuals and as a band is that we constantly have decisions coming our way. And a lot of times the right decision takes longer time and more work. And so our band name is a constant reminder of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it Googles nicely.
Very nice. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Next
welcome.
question, kind of a little bit long. answer whatever parts you want to. Is there a song or lyric of yours that your audiences have seemed to connect with more than others? What have people told you about the significance of your music to them? And why do you think these songs or lyrics are connecting with them so much?
That's a good question. When I'm writing a song and I'm trying to figure out what to say and I'm trying to figure out what words to put into the song, you can overthink it and you can force it, and I think that there's a lot of songs out there that are forced. I think that we can tell when something is forced. You can tell when something was created intentionally for pop music, or someone was maybe doesn't really truly stand for what it is they're saying, but it rhymes.
Right.
A lot of things, a lot of the message inside of a song can be formed because it rhymes. You have to be careful of that. And that's something that I'm very aware of. So I make sure I'm not just rhyming this to rhyme it. Like, do I really mean that word? And if I want to say something else, then I won't rhyme and I'll just say it. I force myself to do that. It feels uncomfortable because it's nice to have everything fit really nice.
Right.
But truly, for me, it's more important for the song to say exactly what it is I want to say. As far as, an audience of people hearing a song and connecting with certain lyrics, I think that certain lyrics can jump out at people. It gives a life to a song that is relevant for a lot of people at any given time in whatever it is they're going through. And certain things can jump out and kind of seem alive. That's what music can do for people is, you can show someone a song and they can get a completely different meaning, or it can encourage them in a completely different way than someone else. And that's really special. I would never want to just, correct someone about their interpretation of a song. But it has been interesting. I've realized that I don't have the best handwriting, and I've been aware of this because a few times people will come up to us and ask us to write a certain lyric down because they want to get that particular lyric tattooed on them in our handwriting. And I'll try to always be like, I think that's really cool, but Josh has much better handwriting than I do. So you don't think that's true?
I like your handwriting.
Thanks, man. But we could go down the list of certain lyrics that hit certain ways, but more times than not, it's like, wow, that's what jumps out at you. Interesting. I kind of don't, I don't recall that lyric being, something to hang your hat on, but people do that.
Mm-hmm.
Both of your guys' hats.
Okay. Do you have anything to add, Josh?
Yeah, I can. I think it's interesting from a live perspective. I think every show is different, and I think that you can be opening for 2 or 3 band. You can be the first band. Nobody knows who you are. Maybe some people do.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can be headlining, where traditionally people know who you are and they pay money to go see your show. And I think going off what Tyler said, there's certain things that stick out to different people. But it's interesting as a group of people. My observation is there's a song called Car Radio that kind of like throughout all of those shows is kind of the song where like the people have maybe never heard of us. It's kind of I can kind of like see a turning point in a group of people to where like it's maybe what caused them to buy into whatever it is that we're doing, or choose to be a part of it, or at least choose to not hate us. And it's interesting. It's one that I think we really connect with. We get to play it every night, and it kind of means a lot to us both every night. And then seeing it also kind of affect a group of people is interesting too. So I don't know what it is, but I don't. It's cool. It's cool to kind of be a part of something with people together.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah, and I'm telling you right now, a lot of people are excited to hear you guys tonight, especially Car Radio. I particularly am excited too. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's
be excited
sweet.
for that.
Cool.
The very last question: you guys have a pretty outrageous, in a good context, and loyal fan base. What's the weirdest slash craziest thing one or even some of your fans have done for you, to you, whatever?
Um, I have found that interviews on camera can you really never know which one is gonna rise up as like an interview that people go and watch again. And I don't know if this is just for you to watch later or if you're gonna put it up online.
No, it's just for me.
Just for you. Oh, Rhino. You're silly. But for me to like call out a particular fan or particular person to have done something crazy, I would never want them to feel dumb for doing something. I mean, believe me, I have a whole list of things I could tell you right now, but I think, why does that happen? I mean, why do people become fans, which is truly short for fanatic, which when you really say that word, it's not really taken in it's not the most positive word, fanatic, sometimes. Almost like there's something wrong with you. And why does that happen, surrounding something like music? And it's because we're very emotional. As a human race, we connect emotionally with each other, and I think that we walk around in a world that it's kind of wrong to make any sort of emotional connections with strangers. Really, you're not. I mean, you stand in an elevator with someone, you're supposed to stand as far away from them as possible and not say anything. And in an airplane, when you're sitting next to a stranger, you're supposed to kind of mind your own business, and you don't, heaven forbid you start a conversation or, So when you have something like music that gives people an opportunity to experience something together, an emotional experience, because that's what music is. It draws emotions out of people. Sometimes it's such an amazing feeling for them. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to respond. And we've had people respond all the way from, one, not liking us, which is fine. But then on the other end of the spectrum, it has triggered people to create their own music or create something, like I have to just write a letter. Last night we played a show with a band called Switchfoot, and Josh and I really, we grew up listening to those guys, and I'm a huge fan. And I was invited onto their bus to say hi to them, and it was cool because they were opening for us. That was a weird thing for me to kind of digest. And here I am standing in front of these guys who Josh and I were talking about it. It's not that them as people mean a lot to me, but what they've created, it means so much to me, and because of that, you can connect it to them. So it's like, these guys are so important to me, but I mean absolutely nothing to them, and that's a really weird interaction to have. And I found myself not knowing what to say, and not knowing how to express how much they mean to me and how much their music means to me, how much it's helped me and influenced me. And so because I've experienced that, because I truly do use music in a lot of ways that our fanatics use our music, I watch them do crazy things, or things not totally thought through, or things that are a little left field, and we both try to look at it at an angle of, I understand what they're doing here. They're trying. They have no other way to express it. They need to. There's something that needs to come out, and something that's not good. There's a lot of things not good inside of us that music can draw out, and sometimes we see the ugly, and I think it's a really cool responsibility, but also a really cool thing to experience every night. Rhino.
Well, thank you so much for that. That was a very refreshing and interesting perspective, and now I feel bad for having asked that question. But
No, it's not what I meant at all.
no, I get it.
Okay, I can name some weird stuff if you want me to.
When we said crazy, it could have been good, bad, in between, but you guys don't have to go into that. But that was, regardless, an excellent answer. Thank you for
Okay.
your perspective.
People draw us a lot,
Okay.
and it ranges from like incredible drawings to so good that you feel a little insecure that like they got that part of my face perfectly. And then some of them, people are just like, I don't know. They, again, kind of what I'm saying. They don't know how to express it, and they just draw us. And sometimes it's like, it's really funny because I'm a horrible drawer. I fall short in the drawing category. And if I were to like sit here and draw Josh's face, it would be hilarious. So every once in a while, you come across one that's it just makes us laugh, and so that's funny to me. I think because we look ridiculous is why it's funny.
Okay. Well, some people think that, some people don't. But
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for doing this, and also for coming to Messiah. We're really excited for you guys tonight. And is there anything else you guys want to say or add, or anything like that? Josh, nothing.
Looking forward to playing with Kingsfoil. Should be fun.
Yeah, that's people. A lot of people are excited for that too.
Are you interviewing them?
I don't think so. We're gonna try. We're gonna see what happens.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for Student Activities Board and the Pulse for more stuff.
Out the door, SWAT! I must have forgot, you can't trust me. I'm open a moment and close when you show up before you know it, I'm lost to sea. And now that I